What's going on, everybody? It's Big Rob, the O.G.Trucker. Welcome to the elephant in the room. Let's talk about it. These forward-facing cameras. I know it's pissed a lot of people off. A lot of people, including me. You see, because now these companies, and all of them may not have them yet, but they coming. These companies are beginning and are going to hold the driver accountable for any mistakes you make out here. These cameras are going to tell it all. So a lot of drivers don't like these cameras because they'll say, well, it's an invasion of privacy. Uh, I can agree with that to an extent. But on the flip side, while people are out here, hemming and hawing about these cameras, these very cameras will also save your ass. So, being held accountable behind the wheel uh, is not a new thing. Now we live in an age where everything and everybody is being watched. So you're just not being watched inside the truck. My company, for instance, has cameras outside the truck. So if you make a mistake and you're doing something that you've got no business doing, i.e., texting, holding the phone to your head, you see the drivers with their foot on the dash. I see drivers, they watching TV going down the road. It's just unsafe practices wherever you go. And a lot of these drivers that are doing these things are newer drivers because us OGs, we know better. I'm not going to say we innocent in the game because we've done our share or still do our share of unsafe things. But these driver facing cameras are watching you, they're watching the road, and they can see everything that's going on in the cab. And they listening. Now, they're not going to tell you that they're listening, but I know for a fact that they are. So, with that being said, you might say, what gives them the right to listen to my conversations and blah, 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 blah? Shut up. Because you're being listened to any and everywhere you go in the United States of America today. Your cell phones, whatever, text messages, whatever. Everybody's watching, paying attention, listening, social media, everybody's listening. So this shouldn't come as a surprise to you guys out here. And these companies will use it to hang you out to dry if you are not being safe behind the wheel. And you OG drivers know exactly what I'm talking about because we see it every day, all day. You got the four wheelers out here. They drinking coffee, putting on lipstick. They got their laptops in their laps. They're doing everything but driving the vehicle to which they are behind the wheel. And it's crazy out here. So would you want somebody to have your back knowing that you were in the right? Or would you want to leave it up to a judge if you have that accident that you didn't cause? Because it used to be in a big truck, the driver was always responsible. So now they can see whether you were at fault or whether somebody did something stupid that will cover your ass. So while you may not like these forward facing cameras, myself particularly living in the state of Florida, welcome this camera because I know I ain't got nothing to hide. While I'm out here, I take the job very serious. So I see a lot. Uh, if I had $1 for every time somebody cut me off, flipped me the bird, uh, jammed on their brakes in front of me, well, I'd be retired. Point is, these forward facing cameras, none of us like them until it saves one of our ass. And then it's, man, I'm glad that camera was there. You know, you see people putting them in their own vehicles, you know, and it's just for that. But you got to remember, if you put it in your own vehicle and you get into an accident because you were distracted or you were texting or you were doing something that you weren't supposed to be doing, just understand that when it comes time to go to court, that footage is going to be admissible. So if you're going to use a forward camera in your own personal vehicle, remember it can be used against you as well. It doesn't always exonerate you in an accident, especially if you on the phone, you're not paying attention, you texting while you're going down the road, or you reaching for your coffee, you drop your coffee and you go to reach to pick it up. All of that is going to be footage. And you're not going to be able to get rid of it, delete it. So, word to the wise, these forward facing cameras are not going anywhere. And I know of some companies that are putting cameras in the rear glass in day cabs now. So choose your distractions wisely, I would say, because if you're wrong, it's going to cost you. Period, point blank. You can't argue with it. You won't be able to fight it. These forward facing cameras, forward and they facing the cab, they're facing the driver, they're documenting everything you do. If you're tired, if you're yawning, if you're scratching your head, it's pinging. Because all that's going to be classified as distracted driving. You know, if you're out there and you falling asleep behind the wheel, you're probably going to get an email or a conversation from your boss or the powers that be, because all of that comes under distracted driving. So it sucks, but it is what it is. It's not going anywhere. So I would caution you to just be safe. Your job is to get the work done and make it home safely. With that being said, y'all be safe out there. Keep their truck upright and mind your business. Talk to you.